performing what some may consider an upset.
Considering the brackets, this victory is the difference between a very easy path into the challenge finals or an arduous journey through the last chance qualifier. So neither side gonna be willing to give an inch here as we jump back into the land of Dawn once again. It is gonna be BIGETRON Alpha on the blue side versus AI Esports on the red.
This is going to be such an important series. Of course, both junglers are going to be starting parallel jungling. DOZ on the orange, and of course you have the Joy PS starting the purple. Both end up on the gold side. Moreno dangerously low. Black getting the stun up, but Moreno hitting the level 2 means that the extra stat keeps him alive.
We can see that Black on the chip. While this hero was nerfed somewhat, still has a very solid amount of early game damage, especially paired with Eve. Now Pamela has the flicker out from that 3-man gank in the mid lane.
Yeah, almost enough tempo play from the Joy. Almost ended in disaster. So thankfully, Pamela was able to escort Moreno out to a certain degree. But this Phoebus into Akai. I wonder how the interaction is going to be. At level 4, Phoebus is going to suffer because you get pushed away, same as the Joy. But is there a way to go around that?
Actually, no. Akai is a lane counter to Phoebus, actually. Like, he generally does a lot of damage, doesn't dash very much, so you're not getting a lot of Infernal Pursuit stacks, and he's able to eat a lot of it anyway. And like you mentioned, at level 4, you're not really going to be able to do much against him if you're just pinned against a wall. It's not a counter pick you see very often because teams would prefer glue instead, but it still works.
Level 4, speaking of that, it's going to be now. Level 4 for the junglers. Turtle spawning on bottom side. Black still pretty far away from it, so can expect him to not get it anytime soon. Yeah, Esports, they can still contest this as PS is on the purple buff, but I think they're gonna let it go. No point contesting this. They don't really need it as much. Heavy spin available for Luke. Turtle for BTR.
With a Matilda and an Akai EXP, BIGETRON has much better control over objectives and river fights compared to AI this early on. The only way that AI can really kind of circumvent that is if Black is able to find a good shortcut into the backline to pick off Eman and maybe cut off escape routes that Pamela could offer. But since the chip is not level 4 yet, nor do they have enough burst because a lot of their cores do need 1 or 2 items before they start hurting, AI Esports just has to choose to ignore most objectives until a little later in the game.
As long as they can kind of farm up PS and Alita, they should be in a decent spot. Not to mention that they have the Eve, so it's going to be that great base defense if they ever fall behind. As long as BTR doesn't kind of run away with the lead. They have tons of utility for sure, and of course this Akai feels like that be-all end-all solution. But AI Esports is not giving them that opportunity, and if this Matilda isn't able to kind of accelerate the lead, I think AI Esports will be in a very comfortable spot.
But I think that BIGETRON actually scales into the late game without too much problem either, right? Like, yes, I can see how Joy and Bruno, once maxed out on items, can be very dangerous, but BIGETRON has the Granger, who so far has been destroying late game. Moreno already performed very well on Valentina previously, and Akai's utility will still remain relevant all the way to the end, Matilda as well. So I think it's perfectly balanced, and BIGETRON can play the game as fast or as slow as they actually want to.
Because like both teams kind of have the same archetype to a certain degree, where you have that late game insurance where you both don't mind playing slow. But if that's the case, is there a team that kind of wants to take more initiative? Is it a team with the chip? Is it AI?
Well, speaking of the chip, here's the shortcut for TOZ, but he's just able to dash away. The teleport ins were a bit too slow by AI to actually do anything with it.
So at the end of the day, it's still AI Esports making the attempt, but not getting much in return. We sort of expected this. You have great disengage tools with heavy spin and guiding wind anyway. Eman just got his Sky Piercer. See the second turtle fight. AI Esports intention to contest. Mazi is in. RWM still is going to be PS taking the turtle away. Heavy spin used by Luke as unfortunately this Phoebus out of position. Sniped down by Eman. First blood for BTR.
Impressively done by PS though, being able to find the angle to dash in, get the retry timing despite the heavy spin. But BIGETRON still find it pretty worth it to get that first blood gold. It's a good amount going over to Eman out of all people as well.
It's going to be, I mean, for BIGETRON to get the first blood, that's a good start for Eman, for sure. But does this change the matchup for like Bruno Granger? I know Bruno kind of got a bit of a nerf. Does it affect it a lot overall, or it's just kind of a drop in the ocean? We'll talk about it in a bit because unfortunately, there's going to be a gank. TOZ is not going to get out of that. Good read from AI Esports. Stolen shortcut as Moreno is going to summon his own squad, and Eman just found a second kill. And unfortunately for Mazi, he's going to be trapped, so Eman cashes in on a double.
You know, somehow it completely slipped my mind that a stolen shortcut was possible here. And oh, that's very aggressive by Pamela. Real world manipulation gonna punish and even force out a flicker from Eman. They're not able to get the kill on Alita.
Very nicely done from Oh My Jenny, saving Alita and also giving him a second kill. That's gonna definitely help accelerate this Bruno a little bit to keep up with Eman.
And to answer your question from earlier as to how the Bruno nerf might affect the Granger matchup, it doesn't, because Granger was already supposed to beat Bruno in lane. Like he specifically gained popularity for being able to outrange Bruno and farm safely. So a Bruno nerf only makes it easier for Granger to maybe perform, but Alita so far doing a good job, and BIGETRON
gonna find Black. Luke, heavy spin, trying to isolate the battle line, but he's taking too much damage. He's probably gone. Alita gets a killing spree. And PS, he's going to show out Electrifying Beast. That's the target. Pamela getting shocked to death. AI Esports finds 2 kills and a turtle.
The movements by BIGETRON Alpha are kind of baffling me a little bit. Like, yes, it's okay to be aggressive, but why did Luke dive all the way behind his tower where the rest of his team could not reach him? And why would BIGETRON stay so long when they don't know where PS is? BIGETRON has a lineup that has a lot of tools. They're very balanced actually. Good damage, good utility, good vision placement. And they're not using it correctly, resulting in AI Esports actually taking the advantage in a lot of fights where they shouldn't really be.
AI Esports, just like that. They're now up 2.6k. Wow, Holy Crystal up for PS. That is so fast.
That has to be a second item, Holy Crystal. I think PS probably rushed it. There is no way that's a third item. I don't think he's that rich. AI only has a 2.5k lead.
That's gonna catch BTR off guard for sure. But that means AI, they're committed to that big snowball to keep on kind of a rolling, kind of keep that lead going, keep on stepping on the gas. Is there a way for BTR to kind of slow this down? I mean, we've seen Luke use that heavy spin to try and break the battle lines, but he just gets bursted down way too fast.
They really don't need to try and force a setup with the heavy spin. They can save it. The same way that, like, I always think Tigreal should save Implosion for later in the fight. I know BIGETRON, they don't really have any other way of setting up a fight outside of the heavy spin, but that's what you have the Matilda for. It lets you engage and disengage safely until you can find the correct angle and maybe force AI Esports in a position where they have to be the initiators, thereby wasting resources first. BIGETRON doesn't have to be the one making things happen a lot of the time. They're perfectly fine to play it slow and scale, but now that they've made the mistakes, they actually do need to ideally even things up against AI. It's a little bit of a self-created issue.
The lead is just gonna start ballooning bit by bit. See that again, close to the 3k advantage for AI Esports with the Lord spawning, and look at where the chip is, right? Such a off angle there. I don't think BTR would expect. Eman actually spots him out. Good stuff. Good awareness. So Black is going to flicker away. That's the stolen RWM for Moreno. BIGETRON Alpha takes the fight right now. Counter RWM. Mega kill for Eman. Lord though secured by the side of Mazi. At the end of the day, it's still 2 kills for BTR. Eman gets the double, but AI finds the objective.
TOZ needed to mind his position a little bit more. Luke had already got in. He got the pin on PS, but because TOZ ended up dropping, it became a 50-50 of who was going to get the Lord, and Mazi was able to finish it off. a good attempt, and again, I'm quite impressed by how well Moreno is using the ultimates that are being stolen, but the rest of BIGETRON Alpha are lacking a bit of coordination.
And because of that, now this Lord is going to allow AI to really start dealing some substantial damage to BTR's base. Start with all the tier 2s, right? Top tier 2s going down. Lita leading the charge. Let's say BIGETRON Alpha, they do have plenty of damage, more than enough to get rid of the Lord, but AI Esports, if they can get at least one more tier 2, at least you can start establishing presence around the map. Although Luke would find the location of PS.
PS just got Blood Wings as well. You can see the way that AI is surrounding them. The burst, BIGETRON just zoned off of their mid tier 2, not even given a chance to defend it.
Insane damage from PS. So it's all tier 2s down. AI Esports now gets plenty of map control, plenty of presence around the map.
I personally am a little bit disappointed with how BIGETRON has been piloting this composition. It is very balanced. I actually like it quite a lot, but they haven't been able to take a single tower the entire game. They also are losing out quite a bit in terms of goal lead, despite having lane priority a lot of the map. There's definitely been some miscalculations in the way that they've approached things so far, but AI Esports are definitely reaping the rewards of the situation. And now BIGETRON in a bit of a tough spot, but they do still have solid base defense, so maybe they can drag the game out long enough to do something with it.
Hopefully, that's gonna be the case. For AI, now that we've reached this stage, it really comes down to whether Black can make it happen. It's gonna flicker on top of Emman. PS though, access to the backline, knocked out by the Circling Eagle. Emma with the flicker, just good defense from BIGETRON Alpha. Stiff arming AI Esports to counter RWM. Just does nothing. Good isolation from Luke, separates the battle line. Moreno gotta be very careful as Alita just kicks him to death with the soccer balls, but Alita so out of position. Blast coming to help him. Alita being kind of away. Emman takes him down. Muzzy a bit late with the flicker. Dark Wave. Plenty of mistakes from AI side. Triple kill for Emman, and it is just clean up season for BIGETRON Alpha. A complete wipeout in the top side of the map.
That is what professionals would define as a throw. AI Esports did not need to force that. I think Black was totally fine to try and re-engage, but Eman was actually prepared for it, already dashing away by the time the shortcut came through. And initially, it looked good for them, right? They were actually trading well, but then they stayed a bit too long. I think PS also tried to go too far without team backup. Joy needs the team to play around her. This hero is still very squishy, despite the damage that she does, so that immediately turns the entire goal lead. And now the Lord falls to BIGETRON, and they can actually make plays with this.
Yeah, and another shortcut, catching Moreno, they want him dead. Luke with another heavy spin. Black is isolated, and Black will fall. Legendary for Emman. In AI Esports, they want to take the initiative, but with Alita going down, I think this game might just be done and dusted. AI Esports essentially locked out. 3 more left to a 3v5, but without Alita, it is down to Oh My Jenny and Muncie. Maybe PS can find a backline dive with the damage that he has. One last hurrah, BIGETRON Alpha, eyes on the prize. Muncie goes in, tries to buy time. PS takes care of the Lord with electrifying beats. Once Moreno cannot get it, Circling Eagle knocks him up. Emman assassinates him, finds a double kill. Black is now back. They need 5 more seconds for Alita to be back into the game, but Oh My Jenny tries to stall it out, just does not have the damage with the empowerment minions on BTR's side. It is a definitive victory. The series done and dusted, BTR 2-1 over AI.